everybody, it's the Warhipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial, and today we're painting something that I've been so excited for. We are painting the Revenant Draconith. Yes, look at it. Behold! Its absolute undeath majesty. I think it's an absolutely spectacular model, and I've been really excited to paint this one. So a massive thank you goes out to Games Workshop for sending me this, and well, we're going to just jump in and we're going to start painting him. Now, we're going to tackle him in kind of, well, effectively 2 stages, although there's many steps to this. We're going to be tackling the wings first and then the body, and well, it's all been primed in grey Seer. And the colour we're going to be using first is some Agrax Earthshade. And what we're going to do is we're going to thin it down. So it's going to be a roughly 4 parts Agrax Earthshade to 2 parts Lahmian Medium. So effectively a 2-to-1. And we're really just doing that just to kind of like take the edge off the Agrax Earthshade. And what we're going to do here is we're going to apply this over top of all of the Draconith's wing membranes. Just like this sort of thing. And we're just looking for a nice smooth coat here, which is why we thinned it down just a little bit. And also just to kind of take some of that brown off. And we're just looking to kind of tint the wings this colour effectively. So I'm just going to apply this like so over the top of all of that membrane. I'm going to do this both inside and out. And don't worry too much if you get this on top of like the actual arm of the Draconith as well. That's okay. Because, well, it's all going to be quite a dark colour anyway. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some Targor Rageshade and we're going to do a little bit of blending. We're going to do quite a lot of blending, but this is the first step on the blending journey. So I'm going to take the Targor Rageshade and we're going to start on this sort of part of the wing membrane just here. And we're going to apply this coming along this section just in there, like so. We're going to avoid where it tears there. And then on the next kind of bit along, what we're going to do is we're going to apply this coming along like so. And then we're going to wash the brush, touch off the water, and then we're just going to blend that Targor Rageshade by feathering away at the transition into the Agrax Earthshade. Just like that. Then we're going to take the Targor Rageshade and on this side we're going to apply it all over. Like that. Similarly along here. I'm going to apply it all over. Like that. But then, on the main wings, essentially what we're going to do here is coming down, well, coming up rather, from down here around about that kind of knuckle joint all the way along, is we're going to apply it to roughly 2/3 of the wing, and then we're going to blend it. So we want to kind of in line with this section just here, that little knuckle, we want to just apply this like so, and then we want to bring it down across the rest of the wing membrane. Like so, to around about there. And we're going to wash the brush, touch off the water, and then we're going to give it the blend into the Agrax Earthshade. Like that. And we're going to continue this across the rest of it. So we're going to go on to the next membrane, coming over the knuckle, like so. Wash the brush, touch off the water, then we're going to blend like that. So with that all done, what we're then going to do is we're going to take 2 shades and we're going to do a little bit of kind of sort of patchwork here on the wing membranes. The 2 shades are going to be Reikland Fleshshade and Druchii Violet. And basically what we're going to do is we're just going to add a little bit of extra colour here and there just to give it a little bit of extra bruising and stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by taking some Druchii Violet and we're just going to apply some of that just in there like that over the top of the Targor Rageshade. Same along here. And we're going to wash the brush, touch off the water, and then just give that the quick blend, just to kind of like wipe most of it off, like that sort of thing. Similarly, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Reikland Fleshshade, and we're going to apply this, for example, over this little section just here. Apply this like that, coming down, wash the brush, touch off the water, and then just kind of, again, just it's not really a blend, it's more of a kind of wiping away, as it were, like that sort of thing. Back to Druchii Violet, and we're going to apply some of this Just there in the middle of the wing membrane. Wash the brush. Touch off the water. And kind of just pull most of it off. Like that. And what you can do, of course, if you really would prefer, is you can put some down on the palette. This is an alternative way of doing this. But just put some of both down on the palette and then just kind of go at it in a similar style. Rather than kind of going back and forth between two pots. Like that sort of thing. Can add a little bit of this sort of around here, almost like that sort of thing. Wash the brush, get most of it off. Back to some Druchii Violet by itself. We'll apply some of that down here. Not too much. Wash the brush. Get blending. Like that. Bit of Reikland Fleshshade. Go back the other way. Like that. Wash the brush. Touch off the water. Give it the old blend. Been quite rough here. Just like that. We kind of want to create a nice, like, sort of variation across this kind of this back section almost of essentially what is 4 colours here. So with that all done, this part we're just going to leave alone just for the moment. Same on the inside and on this side as well. So what we're going to do next is going to be one of those trust the process type moments. So we're going to take some Sigvald Burgundy next, and we're going to apply this over the top of this whole section that we haven't done yet. We're going to avoid the wing spines if we can, but it doesn't really matter if we do hit those. But we're going to apply the Sigvald Burgundy like this, just up to the point where we've done all our blending before. So you will get a very clear line transition, but that's okay. So we're going to sort that out in just a moment. And so with that Sigvald Burgundy all applied, what we're then going to do is take a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Lahmian Medium and Black Templar. And we're going to apply this over the top of the Lahmian Medium, not Lahmian Medium. We're going to apply this over the top of the Sigvald Burgundy, like so. But what we're also going to do is we're then going to bring it down a little bit further onto the wings. So we're going to bring it down to around about there, like so. And then we're going to once again wash the brush, touch off the water, and then we're going to just blend it into the wings, like so. Basically what we're going to do is that over top of all of the stuff. Like so. Like that sort of thing. And so with that all done, we then need to mitigate for this harsh drying line, this harsh transition. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some Black Templar once again, and it's going to be a roughly sort of 3 parts Black Templar to 1 part Lahmian Medium. And we're going to basically, over top of the drying line here, we're going to apply this on either side, like so. And then we're going to wash the brush, touch off the water, and then we're going to blend it on both sides. Thus removing that transition, like so. So with that all done, we've got some really, really cool looking wing membranes. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take some Skeleton Horde, and we're going to apply this over top of all the bones of the wing spans, or wing spines. And so with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some Pallid Witch Flesh, and we're going to use this to dry brush the wing membrane. Now we just want to be really, really gentle here. We want a nice subtle highlight going on. And with that Pallid Witch Flesh dry brush applied, we're then going to take some Pink Horror, and we're going to very, very gently now dry brush this into our Sigvald Burgundy section. Just pulling it up into that black just a little bit. So with that all done, we've actually done a huge swathe of the model already. But what we're going to do next is we're going to do the other biggest colour here, which is all of the black. And it's the majority of the Revenant Draconith. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some Black Legion, and we're going to basically now just apply this over the top of the rest of the Dracos flesh. But continuing with the wings just for the moment, we're going to apply this over the top of these fleshy parts of the spines, and so on and so forth. Now we're going to take our time here and just take this a section at a time, getting this Black Legion all over. Have the box art to hand. And then once this is all done, we'll come back in a little while. So with all of that Black Legion applied, as you can see, there's rather a lot of it all the way around. So what we're going to do now is we're going to dry brush it before we tackle the rest of the remaining details. So the dry brushing that we're going to do first is we're going to take some Stormvermin Fur. And we're going to just dry brush this, like I said, over the top of all of the black details. With that Stormvermin Fur dry brush all applied, we're then going to take some Administratum Grey and we're going to give it a really gentle, almost kind of like a spot highlight dry brush over the top. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some Skeleton Horde and we're going to apply this over top of all of the spines and bones and stuff like that. We've got the horns here as well, which we're just going to start on, right there at the front, and work our way along. Now we've obviously got like things like the bones in and around all of the kind of, well, the sloughing off flesh, is that what you'd call it? Which we're also going to apply this over the top of. Just want to get this all over first, and it was a bit of a toss-up between this and doing all the sinews and stuff first, but we've gone with this for now because it made more sense to me. And so with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to do a series of 3 colours, not all at the same time, but I'm saying this now to alleviate any worry. What we're going to do is we're going to start by taking some Volupus Pink and we're going to apply this over top of all of the guts and rents in the flesh, the sinews and muscles and all that good stuff. Like I said, we are going to be adding some variation in there. Once we come to it. So with all that Volupus Pink applied, what we're then going to do is we're going to take some Blood Angels Red. And over the top of things like sinews, we're going to apply this over the top. So we're just going to apply this, for example, like over this stuff here. Like that. And apply it over this stuff in here. And over this. And there. Like that. and so on and so forth. Got all of this large area. And so with that Blood Angel's Red all applied, what we're then going to do is we're going to take some Luxion Purple. And we're going to apply this over top of any guts, but we're also going to apply this over top of the tongue. And, well, we're just going to get this over the top like so. We're just going to avoid this kind of, well, I guess it's sort of inner tongue flesh. A little hole just there. And we're going to bring it down like that. And over the back as well. Like that. And then, as mentioned, any guts. So we've got the intestines and things all in here. We want to apply this over as well. And so with that all done, what we can then do is take some Carroburg Crimson. We can apply this over the top of, well, pretty much all of the guts and stuff that we've just done. And this will just help us kind of tie it all together, but also just add a little bit more depth in there. But you don't have to do this all over all of these areas. Again, you can just pick certain bits and pieces if you like. So with that all done, there's just one last thing left to do, which is to take some Gore-Grunta Fur. And this is a mistake on my part, but what we're going to do is we're going to cover this over the top of the talons down here. And so with that all done, our Revenant Draconith is now what I would call a Warhipster battle ready, although to be fair it is a little bit beyond that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take it to the next level, and we're going to do this by adding a couple of highlights. And well, the first of these is going to be some thinned down Screaming Skull. And we're going to use this to highlight, well, and also relayer the teeth, but also the bones. And with all that Screaming Skull applied, we're then going to take some Slaanesh Grey. And we're going to use this to add just a little dry brush here and there in all the guts. So with that all done, believe it or not, our Revenant Draconith is now finished. And I think it looks absolutely fantastic. I'm really, really pleased with how that's come out. So what we're going to do now is we're going to very quickly work on the base. And, well, there shouldn't be anything surprising here if you've been following along with our Soulblight Gravelords coverage recently with the Barrow stuff, with the White Lord particularly. And what we're going to do is we're going to take some Targor Rageshade and we're going to apply this over top of all of the masonry on the pillar. With all that Targor Rageshade applied over the pillar, we're then going to take some Agrax Earthshade and we're going to apply this over the top. And with all that Agrax Earthshade applied, we're then going to take some Cygor Brown. We're going to apply this over top of these vines. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some Astrogranite. I'm going to apply this over top of all of this negative space around the base. Once all that Astrogranite is fully dry, we're then going to take some Black Templar. And we're going to apply this over the top of all of it. But what we're also going to do with the Black Templar is we're going to apply this over top of all the soil around the pillar, as well as the kind of loose, I guess you'd call it mortar, on the pillar itself, around here, which we've left. And so with that all done, we're then going to take some Tyrant Skull. And we're going to dry brush this over the top of the entirety of the base. We'll then add some tufts and paint the rim. And it's all done. And there you have it. With the base all complete, our Revenant Draconith is now finished. And I really love this model. It's the partner model, of course, to Prince Vhordrai. That much is very obvious. It comes in the same kit. You just leave Vhordrai and the reins off. But it's an absolutely fabulous, fabulous model. And I really enjoyed painting it. I'm particularly proud of those wings. A lot of subtle colour variation going on in there, which makes it just absolutely wonderful.
If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so by heading to patreon.com/warhipster, just like all of these wonderful amazing people have done. And alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member by clicking on the join button below, exactly like these fabulous folks have done, scrolling up on the screen before you. There are so many of you out there that it really takes my breath away, and I cannot thank you enough for everything you do, as without you I wouldn't be able to keep making these Contrast Plus videos. And if you really like this video and you want to send me a little thanks, just click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.